Welcome to Kicking It with FC Woodhaven. Finally returned, and tonight's going to be a big night. We have our New York City FC ticket raffle. We have our New York City FC ticket giveaway with our question. And we have our longest reigning soccer mom of Woodhaven Soccer Club, Angela Alessi.
Evening.
Yeah. How long have you been here?
9 years.
9 years. Yeah. I mean, as many of you know, our two boys are Luca and Alessandro. Luca is currently on our boys U14 team. Alessandro is on our boys U15/16/17 travel team. So, but again, you've actually been here longer than I have.
Yes, I am.
And you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and yeah. So before we go into Angela, I just want to explain what's going to go on tonight. All right, we have our New York City FC ticket raffle. All right. Basically, the winner here is going to get 4 tickets in section 114B. Guys sat in those seats for most of the games at New York City FC. They're great seats. So we're going to raffle those tickets off. That's, the winner will get 4 tickets. I'm going to say it now. Hopefully it's not a member of a family member of Bessie's, because usually someone from Bessie's family wins the raffle. Yes, she does have a large family. The other thing we did was we are going to give away 4 additional tickets. All right. We posted it last night. This morning we came up with the concept. What we did was it's a question. We want everyone to have fun with this. It's a guessing question. Some of you can really pinpoint because you know the numbers. But again, I'll go over the question now. The question was, in 2007, with our intramurals and our travel team, we had a combined 110 players. And we all know we've grown, the sport has grown, and at the end of last season, what was the total number of players for the entire club? We gave out the hint. The hint was it's more than 110, it's less than 999. So again, you can email your answers at info@woodhavensoccer.com. You can get us on Twitter at FC Woodhaven using the hashtag New York City FC tickets. All right. So throughout the next few minutes, we'll keep shaking this up. Angela is actually going to pick the winner. So we'll get that one out of the way. And as far as the question, you can keep answering. All right. As the answers start coming in, I'm actually going to have some fun with it. Saying you're getting warm, higher, lower, and we'll get it down. What I'm going to do now is I have a blank Post-it. I'm going to write the answer here, fold it up, and give it to Angela. This way, when whoever comes up with the right answer and we announce what the answer is, we can match it up and you can see what the answer was. So I'm going to do that now. Okay. Fold it 4s. Give this to Angela. She can hold on to it. So. And like I said, we'll do that in the next few minutes. But first, I want, since Angela is our longest reigning soccer mom, parent, discuss, I guess, the beginning, the middle, now.
Yes.
Free floor.
So it can't be that great.
Yeah.
It started all 9 years ago. We were looking for a place to play soccer. And looking on the internet, I came across Woodhaven. So we started with Lou Castro, who was the reigning president of Woodhaven Soccer Club, who ran a fantastic Saturday, developmental
And all
program.
his kids were involved.
All his kids were involved. And again, I always give credit to any father, mother, parent that volunteers time for our kids in any sport, because it is a huge responsibility and it's all for the kids.
Right.
So it keeps the kids off the streets, it keeps them occupied, it gives them a place to go, and so on. So he did a phenomenal job. We also had Bruno,
which is still here. Bruno is still here.
Rain, sleet, or snow, he was there in his shorts.
Yes.
But so lots of volunteers, lots of great things. Now, if we compare our developmental program, so we went from our Saturday program to where now we have a developmental program.
Which all our kids started.
Right, all of our kids started there. the difference now is it became a more of an organized structural club where we have, we'll start with the developmental section, which is actually
it's the foundation of the club.
Now of the club. And A, it's grown. B, it's not only your intramurals, you practice your drills and you do your little scrimmages. Now it became you go to your little practice session on Saturday, but then, as I understand, they have games. And for the children, they just don't want to sit and learn a drill. They want to play. They want to feel like they have games, that there's some sort of competition going on. They don't care whether they're playing, the blue or green team, but they know that they got to play and who's going to come in first, who's going to come in second. So they're being set up from becoming a travel team later on. So they're already being trained that you go to practice, then you play your games, and if you play and you play hard and you play well and you participate, blah, 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 you do come in first, second, and third place. So that is a huge difference.
Yeah, and again, it didn't happen overnight.
No, absolutely. I said that's where we are now.
Right.
It took,
and again,
a little tweaking here and there, year after year.
Angela is one of those parents that I have to say, you know me the best out of all the parents. And again, the transition from 2008 to 2009 and 2010 was a little bit difficult because, again, in the beginning, it's, me, whether it's stepping on toes, whatever. I came in with a vision, a plan, and people don't like change. And it especially the first year, it was difficult.
It was.
Because you had people that were here that were just used to, and I say the recreational mentality.
Right.
But again, I saw something where the sport was growing, the kids were younger, and again, I'll be the first one to admit, it was our surrounding clubs around us, what they were doing. Is what we needed to do to get to the next level.
And we've gotten there.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. There's still more to go.
I always say from 2009 to 2012 was a big jump. But from 2012 to 2015, we really made that jump. And again, now that we've gotten to the 2015 goal, obviously there's goals for 2018, and we have a long ways to go.
Absolutely.
But it was very important with I saw the intramurals, and I wanted to get away from the name intramurals, even though our developmental league is our intramural program.
Right.
But I saw it as a way of, okay, we need to develop our players. Everyone knows I talk about player development. What is the best way to develop our players? Is start from the bottom, get the young kids in, get them engaged. And again, when it comes to the we start them at age 4. When it comes to the 4 and 5-year-olds, honestly, my biggest thing is just making sure they're happy, keeping them with the ball, because at that age, if you make them happy and enjoy the game,
they want to stay.
They stay. They get to age 6, and it makes it a lot easier. But I saw it as an opportunity to grow the club, help grow the sport, to start with that, and we needed to give them more. We couldn't just incorporate practice and games. I always use the word structure. That's like my biggest word, structure. But that we needed to get that structured. And again, it took me a while, but honestly, we're only into our 3rd year of that kind of structure. Right. So it did take a while. And again, we just came out of a season with 26 developmental league teams. We are now going into September with 36.
Exactly.
And what's great is it's been so easy to create the pre-travel teams from the developmental league.
Team,
because 4 or 5 years ago, if you started a team, you have tryouts. Basically, you showed up, you made the team.
Exactly.
Now, the last 3 teams I've made,
you have choices.
it doesn't happen. You know, you want to go in with a roster of 10, but meanwhile you have 19, 21 kids showing up, and you know there's competition now. So again, it wasn't easy. Now, as far as on the travel part, because 2009, 2010 is where, you know, Luca, at the time, Luca and Ali were on the same team, and they came out of that intramurals and went into travel. And of course, my oldest son, John, was on that team as well. And, you know, there was a little coaching carousel going on.
I was getting to that.
Yes.
You know,
so I'll let you touch on the coaching carousel.
The coaching carousel we had, again, I thank all the fathers who volunteered their time. But, you know, we got to the point where at a certain age, you need a little more. So again, Anthony changed the whole process again. We were getting, you know, trainers come in, whether it was once a week or however it
worked. At first, I think we started with once a week.
Then, obviously, we got, at one time, we had a professional player, Paul, from England, who was actually our coach, which was absolutely fantastic.
Talking about Paul Shaw, former Arsenal player.
Exactly.
That was my man crush.
Yes.
That was the reason why my hair is the way it is.
Exactly.
You know, and I will say Paul is now the senior academy director for Orlando City, which New York City FC is actually playing Orlando City on Sunday.
That'll be a great game.
Yes, absolutely.
So we went, that was a huge change, getting trainers in, now getting coaches who actually knew how to teach, how to coach.
And you know what, though? We did have some coaches I put in place there that were licensed coaches.
Absolutely, licensed coaches.
Honestly, it didn't work.
Didn't work. You got rid of them?
Yes. That is one thing, and Angela knows.
Yes.
All right, because again, we know on this show it goes as natural as possible.
Yes.
Everyone know for the most part. And again, I shouldn't say this because we probably added about 30 new players after tryouts.
Absolutely.
And new parents. And I don't think they know the side of me that most of everyone else knows. But again, I am the way I am.
Right. But
you also know that when things are good,
they stay good. And
they stay, you know.
Bad, we change for the good.
But again, I'm not the easiest person to deal with, but we all know I have a purpose, I have a goal, I have a vision.
There's a reason.
And I think you can agree to this, okay? When it comes to the players, it's all about the players.
Absolutely.
That first and foremost, that's, you know.
Absolutely. So, like I said, you donated your time because it's not for you, it's all for the kids.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be 42 years old, so.
We don't have to talk about it. I'm 25. So again, coach changes, training changes. Now we have licensed coaches. So all of that is a huge change in itself for the travel team. The changes where we have girls teams now. We never had that before. Right. So that's also huge. The girls who won. Well,
we did have one girls team back, I think it was 2010.
But
which, you know, Jesse had coached that team. Exactly. His daughter was on there. Then we came back with the girls team that I coached, which a lot of those players are actually assistant coaches and work the summer camp.
Right.
And that was, you know, trying to get it going. But those are the first two girls teams that actually laid the foundation
for the incoming.
For these two girls teams. And again, we're actually making a third girls team come October, because the parents have been asking me already.
There you go.
Perfect timing. Women's World Cup just ended.
Which was
USA did great. So we'll be able to form that third girls team come October. So we'll be up to 3 girls teams, which is great.
So that's a huge, that was another huge change
and that's something that, even though there was a lot of changes from then to now, everything was like a domino effect. I always say that we connected the dots, and this happened for a reason, and helped this happen.
You've also put in a lot of time where you networked with a lot of clubs.
Right.
You've learned, you've educated yourself. You've tried to pick up on how do other people train their children, and implemented those drills into our practices. So things like that obviously happened.
Yeah, and last
time,
year
but
was,
we've
I
gotten
really
there.
did spend, I spent, I think, 3 or 4 days putting together an extensive curriculum
Exactly.
where every coach gets a binder.
We have a binder now.
You
We
know,
never
right?
had a binder.
Every coaches have binders, and we even have team manager guidelines.
There's
in that
structure,
binder.
and there's now rules, there's regulations, there's training, there's
You know,
procedures. And
we're talking about the binder. Today, Roberto DeLuca came by the office to drop off all the spring pictures. Okay, so we'll let everyone know the spring pictures are in. You can start picking them up tomorrow after 1 p.m. But Roberto DeLuca is, first of all, we all know I'm loyal to St. John's.
Yes.
Okay. Roberto graduated in '95. He missed the national championship team in '96, but Roberto was a star. Okay, he's also a photographer. He's a website designer. He does all websites, and he knows the game inside and out. And we were talking about, you know, the club, and he knows Ricky, he knows Penny, and we were talking about coaching. Because I said to him, I said, I'm surprised you never got into coaching. And he said, you know, it's a little difficult. It's just, I never wanted to go in that. So I started showing him the binder. And he came upon the part with, you know, he loved the curriculum, but came upon the part with the team manager guidelines. And in the team manager guidelines says what to have in your tote. He's like, you even get to that point as far as what to put in the tote. So again, I love using the word structure,
Yes.
but it needs to be that way.
Yes.
And Kevin Nunes, who's been here, you know, as much as I say you're the longest tenure soccer mom / parent, Kevin is actually here longer. But again, I don't look at Kevin as a parent. Kevin has always, you know, I've always said Kevin's like my right-hand man, right?
Always been heavily involved.
And we talk about the, you know, the past. And again, we talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago. In order for us to have gotten where we are today, and believe me, we're not finished. We still have a long ways to go.
There's always room for growth.
I needed to be the way I am because nothing would have ever gotten done. And unfortunately, you have to step on toes and do things a certain way.
Yes.
And, you know, listen, year 1 was tough.
Very tough.
It was tough because there were people there that were here for 5, 10 years where I said, listen, you know, my biggest line is always there's 2 exits, 114th Street, 115th Street. You know, and yeah, one is locked up, so now there's only 1 exit out. But it was a struggle. There were times that it was stressful, but I just had to stay on path and know, listen, this is what we need to do. Because again, when you deal with parents in youth soccer, and believe me, I love parents, but all you need is 1, 2, 3, 5 bad eggs, and you can't let that ruin what you're trying to do. Because again, as long as you believe in what you're trying to do, no matter what, you're going to find a parent to disagree. It's definitely going to happen.
No, that's human nature.
So, well, I will say we got our first answer. It is the wrong answer, but this is from Marta Lopez. She guessed 989, and you know what? We're not there.
Not yet.
Not yet. One day we will be, but no, the answer is not 989. I will say the answer is less than 989. So
yeah, you're very close.
You know, keep guessing. So what else would you like to add? Because again, you've seen.
No, like I said, developmental has changed, travel has changed, coaching has changed.
I will say, as much as we're preaching how much better we have gotten, I will say Alessandro, Luca, John, unfortunately, if we were where we are now,
Back then, it
3
would have
years
been a lot
ago,
different. Yes.
it would have been different. Because right now it's, you know, from U12 down, they've all been part of this new curriculum structure. The training is there.
Absolutely.
And they were more towards the tail end.
Right.
And
the professional training is there now, the right mindset, the right.
Well, you know what? You said the word professional trainer, and Honestly, I have to touch on that because just, again, I've come across a lot of coaches or so-called professional trainers, and majority of them, I'm going to tell you right now, we're no good, okay? What I'm trying to do is, number one, when I hire coaches now, it's a little bit difficult because it's someone that I need to mesh with, which is always not the easiest.
Yeah.
But we do have a curriculum in place.
Well, that's what I mean by professional
Our
training.
style of play,
Right, exactly.
where it's, you know, and I want them to add their own little flair to it, but they do need to follow certain things.
Right.
And you do have some trainers and coaches out there that just want to come in and do their own thing. So I would stay away from the word professional trainer, because there could be coaches that just got their F license that are just as good. Now, again, knowledge
But their
through all
license
these
is what I
yes.
mean. It's not a,
You know,
me, a parent, trying to teach. That's
you know,
different.
and again, same thing with we've had ex-players as coaches. And you know what? Just because you played the game doesn't mean.
Coaching is one thing, playing
Right.
is something else.
You know.
You have to have different skill sets. But even now you implement the motto, United, we play United, we win. This
Right.
is something now that we didn't have before. Well, I didn't have before. So you're setting little things in children's heads,
right,
that you have to be a team. And, now we have this always look for the triangle,
Right.
little things. So all of these things are all new.
And especially for me, because I'm going through it with Michael, who's, my youngest son, and I see him now, who will be turning 8 on Saturday,
Right.
which I can't believe he's turning 8. Turning 8 on Saturday, and seeing him as a player at this age
Versus your older one.
compared to where John was.
Exactly.
And it's, nothing against John, because John has busted his butt in becoming the player that he is, but he's had to work that much harder.
Right.
Because,
He didn't
again,
have
the
the proper
structure and everything wasn't
Exactly.
here. Where, and again, with Michael, I'm going through it differently, because with John, I was there. I was involved coaching with John, and
Right.
it doesn't work.
No,
Coaching your own child just doesn't work. And now I'm going through it completely different with Michael. I'm actually watching Michael develop.
Right.
And it's just a great thing to see. And again, I think back that's the one negative that over the years I've always wished if I could have just implemented 1 year earlier. The Lucas, the Johns, the Alessandros, those plays would have,
At this point, we can't look back. We could only move forward and learn from those mistakes, which you have.
Right.
And you've changed. You see the difference, and you tried your best to change it. You attend games and see where, if we're playing whatever, Valley Stream next week, you go see them the week prior. So all of this is all new, only to help our teams. Right. This was never the case back
And
then.
again, we tried to do the best, and I use the word salvage, those teams. And
Absolutely.
if you think about it,
they've done
Lucas' team,
They've done
division championship
They've done well.
in the fall.
Exactly.
Alessandro this year, division Long Island Cup finalists. So even though we keep saying, I say from U12 down, right. We're still pushing forward with the older teams. Right. It's just we're doing everything we can just maintain it and trying to get them a little bit better.
And they've done great.
Yes. So as a parent, it was, back-to-back,
it was
championships.
Great to see. I was happy for them because they both, like you said, both teams worked hard at it, and they finally made it, which was great.
Well, I'm glad to see that my son is watching the show, which is great. And again, he guessed 750, which that is not the right answer. So I'm glad that he's watching.
He's watching.
I'm waiting for Luca, because I know Luca is. I think Luca is waiting for a little bit hints. So let's see. We throw this one over here.
It's not my fault if Luca guessed, because I didn't know the number either.
So we have Lucille Diaz guessed 510 players. The answer is not 510. And again, we'll go a few more minutes before giving the hints of because I'm starting to see all these answers coming in. Wow, someone answered 1989. which,
Yeah.
no, not 1989. 1989, you know, that would have been a good answer because that is the time we were formed. So again, as far as with Luca, Holly, John, you know, it was a different time, and the younger players though are benefiting. And what's great about, you know, I'm going through my summer camp right now.
Absolutely.
And
That's another thing. Summer camp.
This is the first year doing 6 weeks,
Right.
and it's I'm only in week 2, so we have 4 more weeks to go.
But that's another thing that's
But
new.
the,
Our summer
all the
camps
older players and the
exactly.
players that have left us
They come back.
have come back, and they see what we're doing with these younger kids.
Yes.
And again, I've always said it with the summer camps, okay? Our summer camp is not a gimmick, all right? I want travel players to attend, and the coaches know, and I think the parents can see it as well. There's stations, there's a curriculum, you know, it's not just show up, kick the ball,
No.
you know. And again, the biggest thing is Friday. Everybody knows Friday is Friday Fun Day, and we tell the players we want you to work hard Monday to Thursday.
Then you can have
And then
fun.
Friday, we let you do your 4v4 tournaments, your World Cup tournaments, and have fun. But, you know, we talked about summer camps, and our girls U11 team who just won the division, won the Long Island Cup. That was a team that was basically formed from summer camp. And again, the summer camps work. And if you look over the last 3-4 years, when we get into our fall season, those are our best seasons. Because majority of the players are doing summer camp. So
we've also had clinics. You've
Yeah.
had goalie clinics. You've had skills and drill clinics. We had goalie session with professional player again from Rome.
Yeah.
Who put those goalies through such training. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. I was like, oh my God. So that's all new. Our academy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We were
that's
able to
new too.
launch our FC Woodhaven Player Academy. And that was something that, honestly, I wanted to do 2 years ago. But we weren't ready yet because the players weren't there. And basically what we did was, it's 28 players right now. We took 28 players from U7 to U14, started the Player Academy. We have Coach Ricky and Coach JP. Coach Ricky, who's our technical director. JP, who's our director of coaching. For the first 3-4 weeks, we have Coach Penny, Coach Penny, the head coach of Baruch. Everybody loves Coach Penny. And speaking of Coach Penny,
Who's very happy right
who
now.
is very happy right now, and I'm even going to give a shout out to Coach Yannick. Unfortunately, right before we went live, Jamaica won 2-1 over USA. So I had to give Coach Penny a shout out there. As I was leaving the field today, Coach Penny was doing a session with the boys U7, and I told him that, you know, if USA was to lose to Jamaica, that's not good for U.S. soccer. And everyone knows I'm all about U.S. soccer, and I'm going to say it right here. That is not good that we lost to Jamaica. No disrespect to Jamaica.
But yay for the ladies.
Yeah.
Girl power.
I mean, CONCACAF has done great. I know Coach Ricky the other day with Trinidad, that was a heartbreaker. But, and it goes back to, as far as with youth soccer, the sport is growing. Every nation out there is getting better. And again, we all say it's the greatest sport in the world. It is growing here. Each and every year it's growing. But even in the nations of Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad, it's starting to, everybody is almost on even playing field. You know, they're not up to, you know, with, you know, Spain and Argentina and, of course,
Europe
Italy.
Has been in it for the longest. This is all.
Can never have a conversation without Italy, that's for sure. Which again, speaking of Italy, we're hoping that Pielo plays on Sunday.
Yes,
you will be at the game.
Yes, I will.
And
he better be there too.
Yeah, hopefully Frank Lampard can get on the field because you know, he's got a little bit of a calf injury. But hopefully Sunday, and that's what's special about this. I mean, Sunday's game, we have the raffle, we have the ticket giveaway. You actually could be watching the game with Pielo, Lampard, David Villa, and Kaká for Orlando City. I mean, that's what a great game to go. So again, I mean, I think we touched on your 9 years.
Well, there's also this web show that you implemented.
Yeah, and how this show came about, and I've said it on shows before, is again, now that we do have a lot of new parents in the club, our very first New York City FC ticket raffle, somebody on the field said to me, "Oh, well, it would be cool if you did it live." So, oh, really? All right. So, and then we all know that when something comes in my head,
you get it done.
So we're able to do a live raffle drawing that we did live, and it was that day driving to pick up communion invitations that came up with, listen, what about doing a show, a YouTube show? And that's how it started. And
right.
Yeah,
also
and again,
our site online.
Yeah, I mean, and it took
that's all
after 2 episodes to really just stream it live directly on a website.
You can go on your website. We never had a website before.
And what's great about the show is, and again, I think the team that Luke is part of is probably the most into this, because with their phones and iPads and tablets and everything.
And the Twitter and the Instagrams.
Again, what's great about the show, we want the players to watch.
Exactly.
Okay, and again, we haven't done one in a while. This is episode 6, but we are going back to doing a show every single week now, and we are just going to start announcing results of games, and we're really going to take this to the next level because we want this for the players. And I've always looked at it as, I've always talked about the video games and everything like that. These kids are so addicted to video games, and I figured if they can watch this 1 hour show and be on their phones and not play the video games, at least we can take only 1 hour away.
We also have now a store, a place to go to.
Yeah, I mean, office, and again, I think we're outgrowing this office. It's soon that we're going to need, because again, you know what it is, it's something, and again, it's a vision. I was telling Kevin this, I have a vision for 2018 of what we want, and it'll happen. And
but these are all the changes. These are all the new things that were never there before when I first joined. This is all an improvement. Yeah. It's growth.
Yeah, and again, I'm the type where most of the times I want things done yesterday, okay? Yes. But with growth and development and things like that, I do try to be strategic, and I don't want, and again, going into this season, okay, we just came out of tryouts, and we have more teams now. This is going to be a very crucial season because we have, again, we're only operating with one field.
Yes, we are.
And we have this is the first time that we have boys teams from U7 up to U14, every single age group. U8, we actually make 2 teams. Okay, I mean, so going with the 36 developmental league teams, where the developmental league now is moving 4 days a week. You know, Monday, Saturdays, Wednesdays, Sundays. So this is going to be, and again, if we can get over this and do this successful, which I know we will be able to, then we're going to just keep going. Because up to about a year and a half ago, I kept saying we can't grow anymore. But you know what? We find ways to do things, and we get it going. But yeah, so a lot has happened in the last 9 years that you've been here.
Absolutely.
And I would have to say, for the majority, it's been
for the
positive. All right. So I think, I don't know, I mean, I see a lot of questions coming in. And, I mean, answers actually coming in. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the live raffle.
Oh, boy. Good luck, everyone.
And again, so Angela is going to pick this, all right? Which, again, you keep shaking. Now, here's what's at stake, okay? There's going to be one winner. This is for 4 tickets, section 114B.
Just behind the building.
Right. Sunday's game, which starts at 2:30, New York City FC versus Orlando City. Okay, take this off.
Oh boy.
All right, we saw Angela shake it. All right, she's gonna pick it.
One?
Yeah, only one. There's only one winner. Okay. Isn't this funny?
Oh boy.
The winner of this ticket, all right, actually bought these tickets this morning at summer camp. All right. And it's not a parent.
No, it's not.
It's actually one of our coaches. It's our director of coaching, JP Rojas.
Yay, JP.
So JP has won the 4 tickets to Sunday's game. You know, and again, he just bought these tickets this morning. So I think he bought 3 tickets.
See?
He only had $10 on him, and we made him buy raffle tickets.
It was
So,
worth the $10.
JP, congratulations.
Yay.
And you got 4 tickets, which is really good. So so JP has won those tickets. So that was fun. I'm glad he bought them this morning. So, all right. Now, let's get back to, Luca just.
Oh, boy.
860. The answer is not 860. So, and I will say, the number is lower than 860. Okay? So, now we have, let's see, Gabe Graziano. He answered twice. All right? He answered 580. The answer is not 580. Then he answered again, 375. Now, Angela has no idea. She has a roundabout idea, but the answer is here in this Post-it, so that answer is not correct. Gabe, I'm sorry. I would have loved to have you at the game, but that answer is wrong. Okay, now, we got a email here. Oh, all right. Just got an email from Marta Lopez, who her son, Ivan Mamani, who is part of our summer camp, wants me to say hi. So, hi. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to, hear what you have to say about the show tomorrow at soccer camp.
And
so,
welcome.
Yes.
To Woodhaven.
Let's see what else we have over here. We have Edwin, who answered 650. That answer is incorrect. It's not 650. Lucille Diaz answered 850. The number is lower than 850. We're not there yet. 2018 is possible.
Can I look at the number?
Sure, you can look at the number. Here we go. Here is an answer from, as everyone will say, #1 team manager. Who's the #1 team manager, Angela?
Josephina.
Right. She has answered 370. Unfortunately, that is the wrong answer.
Sorry.
So the answer is not.
Are you going to tell them hot or cold?
Yeah. Well, no, we're going to have, I have so many to go through. My youngest son has just answered.
Oh, boy.
725. That answer is incorrect.
Okay.
To him, it may seem like 725 because Michael's funny, and we know what Michael.
Yes.
Michael says whatever. I don't know where he gets that from. Okay.
I don't know. Gee.
But he'll sit there. This Woodhaven players all over the place. So that answer is wrong. John is guessing again, 675. Even my kids don't even know the right answer. All right, let's see what else we have here. Lucille Diaz also answered 510. That is incorrect. So let's go, 5 more minutes of answers coming in, and then we'll start with if you're warm, if you're hot, and we'll really start narrowing it down. Luca and Ali are doing summer camp. What, for me, and again, I don't mean to embarrass kids, but you know me, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Over the years of doing the summer camp now, and now seeing them grow up, and they have now slid into that older kids category,
Yes.
where the kids are 12, 13, 14, 15, and they're in their own little section, and it's co-ed. All right, but I see, it's almost a little bit more hard work with the older kids.
It is.
Because you have to control certain things. But it's fun watching Luca and Ali interact with different players, male, female, and we just really have seen them grow up. And it's just
a little crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, Ali's going to high school. Yeah, it's going to high school. And Luca made it into Scholars, which we want to, on live on the show, we want to congratulate Luca for making it to Scholars.
Lots of changes.
Yeah, lots of changes. What has that been their experience? Because I know they come home and
they love it. They have fun. They love to play. They've made new friends. There's this one kid I keep forgetting his
Which
name.
one? It's got to be Matthew.
Yes.
Matthew.
Who they love and they joke around.
Yeah, I actually did a video of Matthew and Luca a year ago at summer camp. And again, you know, Luca is here and
Yes,
Matthew is there. And I think I was joking with them saying that they're twins.
Yes.
But yeah, those two always gravitate together.
They have fun together. And they look forward to summer camp because now they're going to know that they're going to see these same players come back. So.
And what I love about summer camp is, and again, this week, 130 players, which is, it's a lot. But every year with the summer camp, we probably get about 30, 35 brand new players, okay, that are not even part of the developmental league that they're starting with the summer camp. And 99.9% of them move on to the developmental league, and then from there, travel, okay? But the new players that come in, and they only sign up for 1 week.
Then they sign up again for another week.
It's this year more than ever. I had a lot of players, and we did a week, 2 weeks. And by Wednesday, they're coming to the table saying, we want to add on. We want to, you know, and again, that's a credit to the coaches because, you know, we're doing the right thing.
Well, it's also the structure that you put together.
And what's great about it is, and again, with the structure, because everything is timed, but it is summer, so we do want the kids to have fun. It's not, you know, boot camp where, you know, it's, yes, it's drills, it's technical, but, you know, we do different stations, but we want them to have fun in the same way. Because the last thing you want to do, even with new players coming in, and I've always said it to parents with the young players, with the developmental league, all right? Our turnover rate is probably, you know, you lose 40 kids, gain 60 kids. That's the way it is, because you have kids that are trying the sport out. And I tell parents all the time, they're not going to continue playing. I at least want to make them a fan of the game. Because that in itself is also going to grow the sport. So, because again, we know soccer is not for everyone.
Absolutely.
You know, and you want kids to play different sports. As long as they're active. And listen, I want every kid to play soccer. But you know what? Soccer isn't for everything, for everyone. But again, if they at least become a fan and enjoy watching the game and even playing recreational, that's great. Because just like, not everyone's going to become a travel player.
No.
You know, and that was the other reason for making the developmentally competitive, because again, we want them to have some competition. You know? Well,
not only that, if you don't make a travel team for a kid who still loves the sport and wants to play, now you're offering them a spot or a place to go to enjoy the game. You also implemented the winter camp. Which
we've done a lot of
so that's all new as well. The clinics, the winter
have been
camps.
Great.
So.
And again, we do these camps and clinics because we want our players to benefit from them as well. But it is also a way of bringing in new players and seeing what we do. And again, over the winter, we did, I think it was during President's Week, we did a President's Week camp, okay? And we had a lot of gotchi players join. And talking to the parents, and the kids were said to the parents, wow, they're doing the same thing we do at training. And, you know, so it makes me feel good because I know that people are seeing
and
what we're trying to do.
Back to where you have noticed how other people train, how other clubs train, and brought it in-house and implemented it here. So you have, that's when I say you've networked, you've done your homework, you have been or trying to be as competitive as other clubs. So that's part
and again, I've done a lot of studying and a lot of on pro clubs and other clubs, and as far as, you know, again, taking a little bit of my beliefs and my knowledge, and because again, you always have to keep changing. You know,
you have to change with the time.
And the best thing that we have done, and everyone is starting to do this, is everybody wants a style of play. Okay, so we've adopted our style of play, and we're training our players to our style of play. We're not adapting to the players and saying, oh, you know. So again, we're training and developing our players the way we want them
to be on the field.
Right. You know, and listen, to see our kids, that very first season they went travel, it was a disaster. I think they played 8 games. They went 2-6, following, But to see the young teams now, and I tell the parents, U7, U8, honestly, I could care less about the wins and losses. Okay, there's no standings for a reason. The wins do not matter. We want to develop the players. But to see young teams, and we know scores are still recorded, but to see the young teams actually have success as they start traveling is so much easier for parents to believe in what we're trying to do. Okay, because there's only so much a parent wants to hear of, oh, it's not about winning, it's not about, but season after season after, because again, they're keeping track of the wins and losses.
Oh, yes, we do.
So, but again, it's very, very happy to see the positive results. And I started this new thing where, and that was another thing, I do a lot of, I analyze everything. And I think about last year, I went on Loyola Juniors, and I started looking at every single age group, every single division, okay, looking at the top 3 teams and starting and tallying the wins and the losses and the ties. I wanted to come up with what we needed to do to become a top 3 team. And again, it basically is we need to get a positive result in 75% of our games. And again, a positive result, you get a tie, it's a positive result. And I started keeping track of the numbers. And it was 2 seasons. First season, I believe that was the first season we started calculating. I think we finished with 76%. Right? Now, I came up with that percentage before the season had even started, saying we needed to get a positive result in 75% of our games. Season 1, when we implemented this, it was 76%. Last season was close to, I think it was 72 and change, close to 73%. So again, I do a lot of, when I tell people outside of soccer, outside of Woodhaven soccer, and, they deal with a lot of coaches and personnel, they're like, wow, you really
that's
go
what
into
I mean,
it. And again,
it's,
you have to, listen, you have to have a purpose. You have to have a vision. You have to have a plan. Same thing with, with our teams. We take attendance. Some parents are like, why are you taking attendance? Because again, we want our play. If we did not care if your child was at training, we could care less. But we want to play. The only way the players are going to develop is being at
it's
training.
Like school. You go to school, they take attendance. They take attendance because if you're not there, you're not learning. Same thing. This is soccer. If you're not there, well, you're not learning. Same concept.
All right, we're starting to get a lot of numbers in, and we're starting to get close.
Okay.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to really start getting it, start narrowing this down. And I'm going to go one by one.
So
all right,
we're going to go from these down.
Yeah. So we're going to go with. Let's start with Marta Lopez, right? Because she's been throwing those answers out. She gets 799. The answer is not 799. It is lower than 799. Okay. Josefina,
Yay.
number 1 team manager.
Yes.
Guessed 465. The answer is not 465. Who else we have?
You know how to code yet?
Not yet. We'll go through this one first. Edwin has guessed 600. Nice even number. I will tell you it's not an even number. No. All right, so the number, because then if it was just threw a number out, it's 600. That's not realistic, all right? Believe me, I know exactly,
Oh, he knows exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So the number is not 600. And again, this morning I knew the number. I even came back to the office and said, let me double check. And I went player by player by player by player to confirm the right number, okay? But the answer is not 600, and it's not an even number like that. Edwin has guessed again, 540. It's not 540. We have Lucille Diaz has guessed 250, and she also guessed 600. Neither one of those. Okay. This one here is Patricia. Oh, which actually is Victor's mom. Victor on the boys U15. I'm pretty sure this is her. because again, I memorize email addresses. I have,
Yes, you do.
She has guessed 392. It is not 392. Edwin again, 430. It is not 430. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, John keeps guessing over here. And, I love that my son is watching it. Makes me feel good that he's watching it. But John, you all coming to the game with me, so I don't know what he would do with the 4 tickets. And I have to be honest, all right? And we all know that I don't show favoritism, but if John was to guess the right number, I cannot give him the tickets. So.
Did you hear that, John?
Yeah. Well, but believe me, he's going to be guessing like crazy now, just to get the right number. Okay. Danielle Graziano. Oh, I have the whole Graziano family watching the show tonight. And again, Gabe and Danielle, their daughter is Angelina, are on Christine's team. And Gabe has become my new Paul Shaw. All right. I love hanging out with Gabe. They've come to a few games. And again, it goes back to I'm not the easiest person to deal with.
No.
But me and Gabe hit it off right away. So I'm glad the whole Graziano family is watching. Danielle has guessed 450. And again, it's an even number, 450. The answer is not 450.
And it's not an even number.
Oh, she just guessed now Angelina has guessed, her daughter, 555, which it's not 555, okay? So what we're going to do is, to really start getting these answers coming through, I'm going to narrow it down a little bit, okay? So the answer is between 341 to 621. That can narrow it down a little bit. That'll be the first.
Narrow it down a little bit.
No, we'll see what the next answer comes in.
But now you can start the hot and cold.
Right. That's what I'll do. Oh, look at it. See?
There we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Angelina has guessed 541. It is not the answer. Okay. And Josephina, 3 answers Josephina has.
Yeah, Josephina.
All right, usually, she has guessed 493. It is not 493. So we put out there, what did we say? It was between 341 and 621. So 493 is not the answer. Victor's mom has just answered again. 395. Which again, 395, can you consider that an even number?
No.
No, 395, no. But the answer is not 395, okay? Wow.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Okay. We just got an email from, and I hope I'm saying this right, Lucille Diaz. And again, if you can, I know you're watching because the emails are coming in. If you can email me back if I'm pronouncing your name right, if it is Lucille Diaz, and let me know who your child is.
I'm surprised you don't know.
Huh?
I knew everybody.
I know. You know what? We have so many new players. Oh,
Yes,
look at it. Wow, look at this.
Anthony slipping.
Angelina has guessed 613. No, the answer is not 613. Jody, who is Max and Benny's mom, who I actually was at the Beach Club on Sunday, did some entertaining as well. They were very fun. She has guessed 447. The answer is not 447. Oh, I'm not going to reveal what she guessed because I know what the answer is.
Okay.
All right, but I'm giving Lucille some time to email me back to make sure I'm pronouncing her name correct, and I want to know who her child is, okay? But let's see. Edwin, 590. No, the answer is not 590.
Can Lucille call?
Let's see. Marta Lopez, 719. No, the answer is not 719. Okay. So what I'm going to say is, Lucille Diaz, please email me if I'm pronouncing your name correctly live on our show, who your child is. Oh, look at these. Wow, they're getting... Oh, okay. Now, I can now reveal it's Lucy, and it's funny that her daughter, because I did say we were going to start our new girls team.
Yes.
All right. Lucy has asked me just at summer camp about, starting a girls team. Her daughter is...
What age group?
It's going to be U6. Her daughter is Liana Serrano, which they're doing week 1, 3, and 5, taking a little break in between. And Liana is a joy. I love her expressions. Sometimes she gets mad. She just gives me some dirty looks, all in fun. But yes, so before anything, we talked about starting a new pre-travel team for girls. And she is one of the plays that I want to build around. Okay? But Lucy has guessed the correct answer.
Yay, Lucy.
Okay? Now, Angela, you have no idea what is in there. Okay?
I don't know if you can see.
Lucy has guessed 421. I don't know if everyone can see this here, but this was just opened up. Angela was holding on to it.
421.
421 is the answer.
Yay, Lucy.
Lucy has won. That's Liana Serrano's mom. Congratulations. And I am just happy because she took this week of camp off. The game is Sunday. She returns to camp on Monday.
She'll have a lot to talk about.
So that is going to be a great conversation.
Yes.
To seeing how she enjoyed the game.
She'll enjoy
for winning. And since she's part of the camp, Monday's her return, we are going to start camp off, because what we do is we get everybody to the middle and do their warm-up. Okay? So we're going to get Liana in the middle of the fields and let everyone know that Liana won those tickets.
What her experience is.
Right. And again, we sold a lot of tickets during summer camp. So it's glad that, so you had JP who won the ticket raffle, who bought at summer camp. Okay. And we have Lucy who won, which I'm so happy that Liana has won. And we still have answers coming in. So that was fun. That was fun, and I think it was a good twist by writing it down, because you had no clue what it was.
Nope.
And she had a lot of emails coming in, and So again, to recap, JP won the ticket raffle. Congratulations, JP. And Lucy, congratulations.
Yes.
I'm so happy that Leanne is going to go to a game. Angela, you have anything that you would like to add?
No, just welcome to the new parents and players.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. Now you'll be the one noticing the changes as the years go by. Yeah,
I mean, listen, the thing now, though, the changes are not going to be so drastic.
No, but they'll see.
I mean, there was, but again, it'll be little, because again, I've changed. Listen, I've changed a lot.
Yes.
I have changed a lot. I think I've become a little bit more mellow.
There's less chair throwing.
Yeah, that's.
And clipboards cracking in half.
Yeah, I mean that's just.
Yes.
It was a great. It was a great show, but it really didn't.
Fantastic show.
It wasn't good for player development,
yeah.
And which again I will say though, because I haven't.
As well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had coached the girls U16 3 years ago, whenever it was, and took some time off. And then I was going to go back into coaching the new team, which is our U7s, which with everything that's going on, I just couldn't be tied down to coaching. And, Coach Penny and Coach Giuseppe are going to do a great job with the U7s. But I will say the way it worked out with the U15s this season, and because of the winter we had, the leagues pushed everything back. And we had the Long Island Cup game on Saturday, and it turned out our championship game on Sunday. And originally that game wasn't supposed to be played, so Coach Ricky, who coaches that team, and Ricky has done a phenomenal job with those plays. And he had a trip booked, so he couldn't coach that championship game. And again, it was a while to, even though I'm on sidelines of games, but I let the coaches coach the game. But that particular game fell on my shoulders. Yes. And honestly, it was good to be in the
driver's seat?
Yeah, in that position again, because believe it or not, I do enjoy the games and the strategies and the coaching, and so at least I could say I was part of that game. That it was definitely fun. It was like it was old times where I couldn't sleep before a game, is what was so much was on the line. And again, I didn't want to let Coach Ricky down. It was Father's Day for him too, so I wanted to deliver him a championship. But again, it wasn't me; it was the players. That game was still no matter. And I told Ricky when I gave him the recap, no matter who we played that game, they didn't have a chance because we were just. And again, the game before the day before the Long Island Cup, Mateo was hurt. We didn't have our center back, and the result wasn't what we were looking for. And I think the kids they just came to the field hungry, and they knew they weren't going to let that one slip away. So it was a great way to end the season. But Angela, I'm so happy that when I first started the show, I even had said to you about one of these days I had to get you.
Yes, you did.
On the show. So I'm glad you came on the show. It was a long time coming. And like I said, our kids are Luther and Ollie. And it was a great return. We didn't do a show for about 5-6 weeks. Now we're back into it. So we're going to do a show every single Wednesday. And again, live ticket raffle went to JP. The ticket giveaway went to Leanna Serrano's mom, Lucy, which I will email those tickets over tomorrow morning. And so congratulations to both of those winners. And again, tonight was the return of Kicking It with FC Woodhaven. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we will be on every single Wednesday night live at 8 p.m. Thank you.
Good night.